So I'm just going to change that. Let's do. Well, that doesn't work in there. This one. Okay. Yeah, we'll use O. Yeah. We'll just follow the same as the video for simplicity's sake. Yeah, I figured I was going to change it from the video, but I kind of feel that's pointless, to be honest. Right, and one up top here. Just leave that there. All right. I'll bring those down. All right, we should be right around there. Lovely. Okay. Our next step. Oh, snap. So we're taking from O right here, we're going up to C. Is it not enough? Oh. Sorry. Look, I did it to myself too, okay? I did it to myself too. Gotta redo the whole thing? I don't want to redo the whole thing. Sorry, everybody. Thought it would be enough. I don't even know if that's on camera anymore. You could actually just slide a piece of paper under that spot and not redraw your drawing. Just saying.
Or you could get double the layout practice.
You could.
And lay it out.
Nope, C is still up there. A, B, C. We're doing right now, why this is happening is we need to draw this sector in, okay? And that sector is that elliptical shape that's inside of here, right? But we're just using half of it. So how we can kind of picture that is looking on edge this way, we have this elliptical shape. Right now, what we're doing is we're trying to figure out half of it. So we're actually going to connect these points here to establish that shape of that sector. That sector is kind of like the sail of a sailboat, right? I'm looking at the side here, right? My sector is at 90 degrees to the view I'm looking at, right? That's where the sector is. So again, it's that imaginary, it's that arc inside of here. That's the sector. So this whole business is establishing that sector and the points where we're going to actually triangulate to. Okay? Yeah, kind of. Like if I was looking, if I didn't have this side of this on here and I was just looking at the end of this, I would see that shape right inside of this crotch. That's the shape of the crotch right now, looking at it from the end like this.
Yeah, so that's that picture on the right, the one where we're laying out, is that in it?
This here,
Yeah.
we're going to connect the dots pretty soon and we're going to lay out, it's going to make that. Yeah. So the part of that fitting is referred to as the crotch. You could say sector height, but as like fitting terminology, that is the crotch height of the fitting. Ooh, sector. All right. I can kind of eyeball that. So that is our elliptical shape right now. It's our sector. So again, we need that because if we look at the top of this, look straight down on it, that sector, that crotch, all the way around, that's what we need. Like those are the points we come to when we triangulate. You remember when you've done cones before and you've made that zigzag pattern, right? We're going to be doing a zigzag pattern. That's going to be the pattern development on this. kind of talk about where it's starting from. So we're going to zig, we're going to zag. You don't want to zag when you should zig. All right, this is very important. So from point A all the way to the top, right there, we haven't numbered that yet. That's okay. We need to come down to here. I think the next slide has the numbering, so let's get that going on as well. Okay. So hear me out, hear me out. So check it out. Check it out. Let's break it up into simple stuff, okay? We're going 1 to 2. 2 goes down to 3. 3 goes up to 4. 4 goes down to 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right? You can see they've used like 4 to 4 prime, 6 to 6 prime, 8 to 8 prime, 3 to 3 prime, 5 to 5 prime, 7 to 7 prime, okay? Point 1's down in your bottom right. Your next one, point 2 is up there. Then 2, so that's your zig. You zag down to 3. 3 is going to be on the bottom, so on and so on. If you need to come up to the screen and have a look at it closer, come up to the screen and have a look at it closer, okay? It's important you get this right. If you zag, lay out your pattern wrong. Okay. Oh, I'm in the way. Yeah. Okay. I wonder if I can zoom in on that. I don't know if we'll be able to. How do you zoom in on your screen on your computer? Control plus or something? Zoom in. Oh, zoom. Hold on. Zoom out. Whoop. That help? Make it a little bit bigger. So 1 and 2 are on the very edge of the fitting, okay? 2 is going to go straight down to point 3, which is right there. When I do this, let's see. Lost my black felt pen now. So that's 2, 2, 3. As I go, I like to draw the lines in. All right, have a look. As I go, I've done point 1 down here, point 2 is up there. I know I'm going to be going down to 3, but I'm going to draw that line in right now so I know I'm not going to go to the wrong spot for my next one. So I'll draw my line in. Okay, I'll even draw a little arrow pointing in the direction I want to go, just so I know I've gone down. 3, I can't go down any further past 3. I got to go back up now. What's after 3? 4. So 4 is going to be here. Okay, 3 is going to go to 4. I'm going to draw my line up. And that's got an arrow going the other direction. So I know which direction I should be going at any given time. That way I'm zigging when I should be zigging and zagging when I should be zagging. 4. Okay, let's get some room here. 4 is going to come down to 5. Five to 6. 2, 7. And 8, 6 down to 7, 7 up to 8. You can see how my arrows are pointing me in the right direction? It's helpful, okay? It's helpful if, okay, let's say you do make a mistake as you're triangulating your pattern. You need to like figure out where you went wrong. It's easy to backtrack. You know, you got arrows pointing in the direction where you should be going, right? Very helpful. And to 11, 11, 12. Twelve, 2. So many lines. I know. So we've done that. That's wonderful. I've also written some additional numbers on here, like the 4 and the 4 prime and the 6 and the 6 prime. The reason I did that is, remember yesterday when we were doing the squared around on the pitch and we compared that difference in profile, like we took one from up here and we brought it down below and we triangulated? We're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to use this side elevation as our true length triangle. We're going to be swinging arcs down just the same way as we did yesterday. All right. So I'm going to go to one more slide, and I think the rest of this DVD is useless to me, but it gets us going on the right direction. Zoom out. Okay, so points 1 and 2, those are our true length. So our first step is taking point 1 and point 2 and erecting a vertical line. That's the first step. Okay, Teresa. Holy crap. This is going to be the center of our pattern. Does anybody want to, like, do you want to see what the full pattern looks like before we start going here, just so you know what to expect? Do not be overwhelmed. We're going to get through it step by step, but it looks, that's what it looks like. That's what we're developing. So it should look like a cape or like, you know, bat wing or something. Right? So that's what we're after. There's no 90 degree corner on this to check if it's right or wrong, okay? Are we taking the true length from like 1 to 3 for our step off? Yeah, so like let's talk about that. So our step offs on the top, you can see that they're all even. They're all even, okay? So that is a distance from like 6 to 4 or 4 to 2. It's one of our 6 divisions up there, all right? Just like we do on a squared around or whatever. It's the same idea. That's where our step-offs come from. Where things get a little tricky on the bottom is going from 1 to 3 to 5 to 7. Those step-offs come from this quarter circle here. If you notice 7 to 9, 9 to 11, and 11 to 13, the step-offs are all different sizes. That's because 7 to 9 comes from 7 prime to 7 or to 9 prime. That's the step off for here. 9 to 11 is from 9 to 11 there. Then 11 to 13, that's the step off for there. Those are the step offs we use. They're not evenly spaced because our sector is an elliptical shape. It's not round. If it's round, then we can have even spaces. But because it's an ellipse, it's not going to be like that. We establish these points by doing our, you know, quarter circle here, half circle there, lines up, lines over. But those step offs here go to there and there. Then we come to 9 to 11, here, here, and then 11 to 13, so on and so on. So that's where the step offs come from, okay? The top, that's all the same. Those are all even. They're all one of those divisions, okay? Should be. Should have enough room.
So wait, we erect the top true length and then just step off the bottom, step off the top.
Sorry?
So like we erect the 1 to 2 right in the middle.
Yeah.
And we use the top step off to get 4, 3.
Yeah, so you do like point 1 to 2. Then for your top step off over, you're going to take one of these, come over both sides. Then your bottom will be one of these over both sides until you get to 7. Then the bottom changes to these step offs.
Well, those are even as well. You're talking about the
Oh, these ones here. Yeah. Should have enough room on there. I know I've said that before, didn't I? Okay, so let's start. Way to calculate that. Possibly. So that's going to be 5 times, let's see, 5 times pi 15, 16. Should be close. Yeah, it should be pretty close.
What's wrong with you here?
Okay. I think it hard to say on this one. I think it should fit.
I'm gonna solve this.
We need to extend a line across here because we need a spot to triangulate on. All right? Extend that line across. I've got 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is easy, all right? I need to get from 2 to 3. 2 to 3 is not a true length. I need to triangulate point 2 to point 3. So much like we did with the squared around on a pitch, I'm going to go 2 to 3. I'm going to swing a line down to there. And that is 2, 3.
Sorry, where did you start again? When you're swinging from
So I went from 1 to 2. That was a true length. I pulled it off of my side elevation. Now I need to get points 2 to point 3.
so you go on 3 and you swing.
So I go 2 to 3, and I swing that down to there. Okay. Remember how when we did our squared around, there was that one spot where there was no difference in profile? We used that full, like one day it was 2.5 inches because it was a 5 by 5. Another day it was 4 by 4, so we used the 2 inches. We used that distance to the center where the seam is on the squared around. It's because it was going to nothing, right? There's no difference from 2 to 3. So we use this full measurement from 3 to 3 prime. That's where we triangulate from right now. You can technically do both sides at the same time, absolutely. You might run into the right-hand side of your side elevation, go to the right. So maybe this one was a little big for your paper. I'll do both for the sake of it, but
Okay, and then you were saying your step off is for 1 to 3.
yeah, so our step offs are one of our even divisions on the bottom. So I can go like 1 to 3 or 3 to 5, whatever. I've divided that into 6 equal spaces on the bottom, so I can pick any one of those and use that as my step off. And that becomes 3. I even take it a step further with the arrows. I put these lines in as I go. So I know where I'm supposed to be going up and down. Right? So I'll put my arrows on here as well. I know I went from 1 up to 2 and 2 down to 3. On my side elevation, I went from 1 up to 2 and 2 down to 3. So I'm going to help me keep track of which way I'm zigging and zagging. All right. If you make an error, it's easy to go back and go, did I go the wrong direction? Right.
So these will always just be symmetrical on your side?
If it's like, if it's on center this way, if that was off center, different ball game. We're not going to worry about that. Yeah.
Are we ever going to worry about that?
Maybe in 4th year.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets progressively more challenging as the years go by, as you can probably tell. But yeah, for level 3, we're not going to be getting into that crazy stuff. It's totally doable. It just takes a very, very long time. Okay, so we're doing good. So far, so good, right? Now we got to go from 3 to 4. Well, it's the same idea. Now I'm going from 0.3 up to 4. So I've gone down. Now I'm zigging up. Going up to 4. Same idea. I'll go from 3 to 4. And I'm going to swing that down. Ready. That's okay. If you're really, really close, that's okay. That's fine. It's where it's got to be. I mean, I'm super, super close here too. Almost the same spot.
So in this case, you're shooting for your triangulation. Would you use the 4 up here, or would you use the 3 down?
So in this case, what I'm doing is I'm comparing the difference in profile from the top to the bottom. So I'm going to take the top, 4 to 4 prime. Remember how we did this with the squared around? We brought it down below. Same thing. We're going to go 4 to 4 prime. I'm going to go down to here because I'm going 3 to 4 now. Down at 0.3 from the bottom up, just like the squared around. And I'm going to make that mark right there. I label that 4, 4 prime, yeah. Because that's how you can do it, whatever you want. That's a lot of the layout books say it like that. That's how they describe it. So that's why I'm doing it.
And for the first one there, we used base 3 on the bottom circle. We did that because there's no difference.
Yeah, it goes down to nothing there. There's no, it's going to the side of the fitting. Yeah.
Sorry to say again, did you go 4 to 4 and then put on the 3 to 3?
Yeah, because I'm still trying to triangulate from 3 to 4, I take the 4 to 4 and bring it down to the 3 to 3. If you wanted not to use 3 prime, that's fine. You could go A, B, C, D, E, F. Whatever works for your brain, that's fine. The reason I'm using the prime is because it aligns with the book that I've scanned that I'm going to put into D12 for you that goes over this, right? So there we go, and that's 4. Damn it. 4, 4 prime. Okay. That point there, and this is 3, 4. Okay, so I'll just recap what I did, okay? I've got 1 to 2, I've got 2 to 3, now I'm going 3 to 4. I've gone from 3 to 4 and I've swung that down. I marked it 3-4. Now I need to figure out the difference in profile. So I've taken the distance from 4 to my 4 prime up top, down to my half circle here at point 3. From the bottom, I've gone up. And it's that point I use to triangulate to get my true length. Gone down, now I'm going up. Yeah. On here? So if I'm from 3, because I'm trying to go 3 to 4 right now. I've gone down, 3 to 4 is going up, so I got to go from 3 up. And my step off for the top, it's going to be the same for every single one. The whole top of the pattern, the step off is going to be the same. And that's one of my 6 divisions up here.
Will I bring 4 to 5 down underneath 5?
We're at point 3. So 4 comes down to here for point 3. When we're going 4 to 5, yeah, it's 4 again because we're still at 4. We're not at 6 yet. Yes. So I'm going to continue that order of operation until I get to 7. Once I get to 7, things start to get a little bit tricky because now I have a change in direction. I have to go up. So I'm going to work through this with you until I get to 7, then I'll kind of come around and check out on everybody, and then we'll do this change of direction together, okay? Get the rest of this drawn in, then we're going to talk about this change of direction, okay? All right, where am I? I'm at 4. 4 to 5. 4 to 4, 4, 5. Right, 45. Add 5 to 6. 5. Five to 6. Oops, wrong one. 5. Okay, and 5 to 6. Four, 5, 6. Yes. I'm listening. Oh, okay. Okay, can I finish drawing this one in, please? Thank you. No, you may not. I will not allow it. If it's making sense and you want to continue on to the rest of it, go ahead. But don't get too far ahead if you're a little confused is all. So that's going down, goes up, goes up. Sorry, yes.
Just to reiterate, I'm taking
I'm just gonna do 6 to 7 now. 6 to 7. I'll come down. 6, 7. 6 to 6 is there. Lovely. 6 to 7. All right. That'll be my last division from the bottom half circle.
What are you gonna do? You gonna actually study and fill it out?
6 to 7. 7. Okay. So at point 7 on your pattern that you are drawing, it's always going to do a drastic change of direction. You're not going to be dropping down any further anymore. Now you're going to be going almost straight up, right? You're going to be going up from 7 to 9, 11, 13, at a complete change of direction. So you actually have, for the most part, usually an acute angle in there, okay? At no point in this are you going to get a 90 to check to see if it's right. It's not like a squirt around. That one you will, this one you won't. So it's kind of really no way to check it, which kind of sucks, but, and that's coming down. 6 to 7. All right. Sling psychrometer, come on. All right, so the change of direction. We are at point 7. We have triangulated. Some of you are a little past this. That's okay. Just bear with me. All right. I've got from 6 down to 7. Now I got to go to 8. All right. Here's the magic moment. The magic moment is I'm no longer going to be swinging lines down onto this line right here. Because of my change of direction, I'm going to be going vertical. What? Now I'm going this way. So what's different this time is I'm going to be going from point 7 to point 8. And I'm going to swing that line vertically over to the left. 7 to 8. Over that way. So that is 7 to 8. All right. I still have a difference in profile, and I still need to figure out what that is. I'm going to do it the same way. What gets a little confusing is now we've gone from here, and we've turned 90 degrees. All right. You know how we've taken that difference in profile, like the whatever to whatever prime, gone from the bottom up, and then triangulated? We're going to do the same thing. Now I'm going to go from 8 to 8 prime, from the side, the farthest, like to the left-hand side of my sector, and come over. What? So check it out. Check it out. So I'm going to go 8 to 8 prime, like we've done before. Did it for these ones. Now I'm going to go over to 7 here.
How did you get that number? Oh, you just gotta transfer it as a
Sorry?
I was just confused. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those numbers, but I guess you just go 9.
Oh, yeah, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 when we divided this up into our 3 equal spaces. So now we're 8 to 8 prime. This comes over from that point. right there. So that can be 8, 8. From right there. Okay. I'm not going out this way, side to side to triangulate. I'm going up now. I've swung my line up. I've brought my difference in profile over from the left-hand side of my sector. Now I'm going 8 to 8 prime up to 7-8. That is my true length at that point. Yes. So that's 7, 8. So I swung from here over, took that difference, brought it down to here, triangulated that, and brought that over to here. The step-offs on the top are going to remain the same. It's the bottom that's going to be different now.
Is it an issue if like if when we get up and do 10 to 11, my 10 to 10 knot? Yeah, that is.
It goes a little past.
Yeah,
That's okay.
And when you get to 13, like 12 to 13, where do you put it?
So you're going to take that, and you can go to either side of this line, but you come out 90 degrees to it, just like a regular true length triangle. Because it's sloping down to nothing, we don't have a, right? We don't have a spot for it to go to. So let's do my step-offs here. If you're doing it somewhat correct, you'll see that your top is still curving up, and that's good.
Okay, this one is 7, 8, right?
That's 7, 8. So going up, going up. So you guessed it. Now we're going 8 to 9. Same idea. I'm going to go from 8, going down to 9. I'm going to swing that up and over and do a very similar thing. So for that one, because I've gone to 8, I'm trying to get from 8 to 9 now, so I got to go to 0.9 and swing 8 over and up. Yeah, now from 8 to 8, or 8 prime, I'll bring that over to here. Don't do that. And you're going to notice that that's going to come up quite a bit higher. Well, that's where you want it. That's our change of direction going up now. See how much higher those are? That's good. That's coming up this way now. 9 should be higher. Yeah, so our step-offs now aren't from the quarter circle. They're from our sector. That's why we laid the sector out. We need that profile, right? So I'm not going from out here. No, I'm going from right there. So from B or 7 to 9. That's my step off there. That's going to be my 9. Nine to 10. All right. Oh, I want. I'm good. I'm good. Very professional. Oh, I do though. I do. That's the thing. Especially when it's on camera and it's being recorded. So I'm going to go ahead and go from 9 to 10 now on my drawing, and I'm going to carry on. When we get to like back to nothing, like 13 again, when we get to there, we got to do a tricky maneuver, but let's carry on with where I'm at here. So 9 to 10. So bring that over, slide that one down somewhere around there. That's going to be my 9, 10. So I'll take my 10 and my 10 prime. Go right there. Okay, triangulate that. It's the calm before the storm. So the 10 I took from here, because we're still at 9, like I'm trying to go from 9 to 10, I got to bring 10 and down to 9 again. Okay, so I brought that over right to there, 10 to 10 prime. Same old step off as before for the top. All right. Oh, just draw that line in. Going up. No. 11 and 10? So yeah, so I'll swing 11 to 10 up, and I'll bring 10 over to here. It's probably going to go past just a tiny bit, and that's okay. It's that little bit it goes past that we're going to triangulate. Whoops. Oh, that was right. Okay. So when we're going from our 10 to 11, we'll swing our 11, like 10 to 11 down. We'll bring 10 to 10 prime over. It's going to go past a little bit. It's going to go into the pattern, past the sector. That's all right. It's not going to do that every single time we lay one of these out, depending on the size of it. But in this case, that's okay, right? The difference between the profile is that tiny little bit. So what that hangs past is the difference in profile. So I need to go from that point that it's going past and take that true length and bring that over. All right. So I took 10 to 10 prime. I brought it over here from 11 over. It's gone into my side elevation, but it's that point there that I'm going to triangulate. I'm going to bring that down to here. When we did the step off from 7 to 9, we used 7 to 9 on our sector. We're not going to use that one. Now we're at 9 to 11, so we got to use that as our step off. Okay. And see on that pattern there how each one's a little bit of a different size. Same idea here. That one's the middle one's smaller than the big one, and the small one there is it's even smaller. So that's our next step off. All right. I'm going to go 11 to 12. So when we get to 13, I'm almost at 13, so let's talk about that in a moment here. Just about there. 12 to 12. 12, 11, 12. Okay, 12 to 13. 12 to 13, all right. Remember before when we were at 2 to 3, how we used that full distance there? Remember? Because 2 went down to nothing. It goes down to the side of the fitting. Wah! All right, the same from 12 to 13. Going from 12 to 13, 13 goes down to the side of the fitting. We used on the bottom from 3 to 3. Up here we need to use 12 to 12. That's what we're comparing the difference in profile to. At any point, I could take the distance, let's kind of explain this in a couple ways. I could take 12 to 13 and make a mark, draw a straight line, right? I'm doing this fast. And then take that distance there, mark it here at a right angle and triangulate it. Right? That's like we would normally do on a squared around, but I don't need to do that. I'm doing my triangulation on my pattern, so I'll bring my 12 to 13 up and over. So there's my 12 to 13. Okay. That one, 12 to 13. That distance from 12 to 12, all I need is a right angle somewhere. So what I'm going to do, either on this side where my side elevation is or the other side, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to draw a line straight over, and I'm going to take that down and make that mark right there. Then I can triangulate that point. That makes sense? I could go to the other side. It doesn't matter. I just need the right angle. It doesn't matter which side I go to. So that there is 12 to 12 prime. For my step off, I'm using 11 prime to 30 right here. That's my step off for my next point. And lastly, we got to go from 13 to 14. Like point 1 to 2, 13 to 14 is a true length. We do not need to triangulate that. 14 to 14. And that, everybody, is your half pattern for this fitting.